Hey guys, so I am officially 5 weeks out from my first competition of the season, which is the Natural Van City Showdown on October 10th. So we're getting there. It's not terribly far away, that's for sure. So this is an update on pretty much just how I'm feeling, how I'm doing, how the contest prep is going. So I have been eating my maintenance calories now for, I think this is day number 10. And yeah, so the first 5 or 6 days of doing so, my energy levels didn't change much. So I was still pretty tired. My training was still very difficult. Didn't feel very strong. Still was very hungry for a lot of the day. Now, I would say over the past 3 or 4 days, energy levels are spiking up significantly. So now I'm starting to feel the effects of the extra calories, the extra carbohydrates. So the calories that I added are all through carbohydrate intake. So yeah, I woke up this morning, I felt like good. I felt like almost normal Sam, like a normal human being. I felt energetic. I ate my breakfast, I went to the gym. I felt stronger than usual, not very fatigued at all, which is awesome. But now I'm starting to run into a new challenge, and this might seem kind of silly, but it almost feels, at this point, sometimes it feels wrong that I'm feeling good, which is, I know I'm not the first person to run into this problem on a contest prep, but it's like, it almost seems like sometimes one should suffer or feel pain or be struggling until the day of competition, right? And the fact that now I'm starting to feel a little bit better, it feels like unwarranted. So I'm asking myself, like, should I still be in the hole? Should I still be digging? Like, should I still be trying to, like, lose more body fat? Now, I think what I'm going to do is stick with my original plan, which has been to eat maintenance into the competition for at least 4 weeks. So the original plan was 4 to 8 weeks, depending on where the end of my digging landed, and it happened to land 6 weeks before the competition. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stick with that plan and see how it goes. See how I do on the competition day. The other thing that I've been struggling with, the other struggle I've had is, so since I've been eating my maintenance calories, my weight has been spiking up somewhat rapidly, which is to be expected, right? You eating more carbohydrates, more calories. I'm storing much more water. It shouldn't be body fat, but even so, I notice the difference in the increase of weight. Like, of course I will, and like I'm in a spot now where all of the physical changes that are occurring on my body are very noticeable to me. So that's like a bit of a psychological challenge. And the challenge is, so like the changes that I'm noticing it's really weird. So like I feel like a flush, like a lot of the detail that I was revealing during the digging that I was doing, the fat loss that I was going through, I feel like it's becoming a little bit blurred, which makes sense from holding a little bit more water from the carbohydrates and the calories. But that's a little bit of a psychological challenge that I'm kind of working through right now. And the other thing too, the weird part is like other parts of my body. So like what I'll say is like the blur is specifically noticeable like on my midsection and like parts of my upper body, where some of the detail isn't as prominent as it was 10 days ago. But my legs, like the cuts in my quads, are like, they seem deeper, which is kind of cool. So I think my legs are looking better, but other parts of my body are looking worse. So it's a little bit of a psychological challenge trying to interpret that in some way. But I'm just gonna trust my plan. I'm gonna see how I do on my competition on October 10th. And like worst comes to worst, if like I feel like I could have looked better, could have done better, maybe I should have dug more, then I'll do that for the next ones, for the next competition, at least. So this is a learning process for me, and some of it's experimental and some of it is theory based. A lot of it's theory based, but it's kind of cool. I feel like, to be perfectly honest, the last 3 days were really hard. Like psychologically, just trying to work all this stuff out in my head. I actually just, like, I'm on a walk now, but I just left. I visited my mom for a little bit, and I talked over some of this stuff with her, and that really helped because I've been just kind of going through it myself in my own head for the last 3 days. But I guess it's something that's important to note, is that if you're working to figure something out, it can really help just to talk to someone else about it and be able to bounce back ideas. And it was really nice. I basically I just told her all the things I was worried about, and like, she kind of reaffirmed that I should be sticking with my plan, and that, like, worst comes to worst, like, things don't turn out the way you want them to turn out, then you have collected data and you'll know for the next time, and there is going to be a next time. So it's a learning experience. And also too, I think that, like, I put in the digging. I did like 18 weeks of a linear deficit. I took a diet break, and then 4 weeks of like really hard fat loss. So I put in the work. I'm still putting in the work. I'm eating maintenance calories, which isn't like, I'm still dieting. So yeah, that's where I'm at. Hopefully that's not just a jumbled mess of information and you get something from it. But anyways, I'm gonna enjoy the rest of my walk. I'm gonna end the video here, or well, this part of the video. Oh, here's some progress photos. So again, like, I think I'm looking okay. Maybe it's noticeable, maybe it isn't, but I notice like a little bit of a blur over my physique, but maybe my muscles look a little bit more full because of the added glycogen. Hamstrings are still showing up. I think the quads are looking better, so the cuts in my quads look a little bit deeper. But yeah, there you go. Those are my progress photos. Without further ado, let's go into diving into some training footage. So I started yesterday's training session out with the leg press. Who would have guessed? So just in case you guys are wondering, I do full body split. So I train pretty much every body part every day. I do, it's a 4-day split actually. So 4 different kind of training routines that I rotate through 7 days a week. So I do train every day. The amount of volume that I do per session per body part isn't very much. So it's like somewhere between 2 or 3 sets per muscle, depending. I'm actually really happy throughout this contest prep. I have kept my training volume pretty much at the same point as where I started. So I didn't actually decrease, or I haven't yet anyways, decreased my training volume. Which I think is pretty cool. There's a couple times where I almost did at the end of my fat loss digging, but I did not. What ended up happening though was my work capacity did drop pretty drastically. So work capacity meaning like how I performed across sets and how I recovered between sets. So I ended up taking very long, and still kind of am taking very long rest breaks, rest periods between sets to recover enough to perform my best for all of the sets that I do throughout a workout. I started doing these mag grip lat pull downs. I really like them. I don't really like how I performed these at the end of the set, and I didn't realize how much kind of extraneous hinging I'm doing, how I'm kind of leaning back at the end of the set. I'd say a little bit too much for my liking, at least from this, looking back at this footage. I think that I could have done these more effectively without swinging so much, especially those last like 3 or 4 reps. So I think I fixed it for the next couple sets. I didn't film them though, but there you go. One of the benefits of actually filming yourself doing your exercises, you can figure out how to make them better. Out of most of the exercises on my training program, I would say the ones that I feel the most fragile when performing are probably my dumbbell chest presses. So that's one of the reasons why I do them so slow and with the pauses, which, you know, you probably should be doing whether you're in a contest prep or not. But yeah, for whatever reason, whenever I get very lean, so, and this goes for all of the contest press I've done, it's always felt like my pressing is the one that is the most fragile kind of movement. But anyways, there you have it. I did my first exercise today were these Romanian deadlifts. I felt really energetic this morning. However, that added energy didn't directly translate over into an increase of strength. So I kind of felt stronger walking into that first set, but after a couple of reps, it's like, no, I'm not stronger. Maybe these don't feel as deadly as they have in the past, but I don't feel necessarily stronger. Got the job done. Certainly is moving well. But yeah, I'm glad that I'm still doing these. They're one of my favorite exercises, these Romanian deadlifts. One of the best hamstring glute exercises out there. So there you have it. Still focusing on keeping my core super tight and bracing hard to support my spine. And next, today I had a flat dumbbell chest press. You can see too, like comparing these with the slight incline from a few minutes ago. Like I'm not using the same loads. But anyways, yeah, I'm moving with like super ultra control and pauses for all of my chest press type movements. I'm also closing my eyes to really like focus on allowing my body to, my arms, and my shoulders to move in a way that complements my physique, so nothing's moving against the grain. Because again, like out of all the movements that are on my program, the dumbbell chest presses are the ones where I feel the most fragile. So I'm really concentrating, making sure that I'm moving in a way that complements the way that I'm built. I'm not doing anything overly explosive at this point. I'm avoiding all kind of ballisticism, but it feels great, honestly. Like the slow control and the pauses, man, it's hitting the spot. So all right, so this concludes the video. Thank you guys all so much for watching. Thank you for supporting me and kind of following my journey on this contest prep. Man, we are 5 weeks out. Things are getting real. So stay tuned for the next videos. Otherwise, if you like the video, please like it. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet. Otherwise, I will see you in the next video.